All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome from Crystal with Love XO on YouTube. Welcome rolling out, you guys. It is Monday night, and you know what time it is. We are talking Ready to Love. Now, I hope you guys were tuned in earlier because we had a conversation with Rutina Wesley, the very talented, the very beautiful Rutina Wesley from Queen Sugar. Also on OWN. You know, we support OWN heavy on this channel. So we had Rutina on talking about Queen Sugar. This is the final season, which makes me sad. But if you watched the interview, you saw that Rutina said that there's a possibility the story is open. So, you know, hopefully Ava will come up with an idea to have those characters revisit because we love the entire Board Alone family. So I hope you guys had a chance to watch that. But tonight, you guys know it is time to get ready for love. And I'm excited because my guest is the one and only LJ. We got him a little early. Usually we have to wait, but we got our boy LJ hanging out with us tonight. So please help me welcome LJ.
What's going on? What's going on?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't
Thank
think
you.
I've been more excited for anybody else this season to come because there's so much we have to talk about, LJ.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it all. Let's do it.
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that if you guys are watching that you share, trust me, we're going to have a good time tonight. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe this conversation. So everybody out there, even the people that are missing it right now live, are going to get a chance to hear what LJ has to say. I also want to make sure that I announce our winners. Now, we know LJ is a artist, right?
Yeah.
We had a chance to hear you sing a little bit, just a little bit. We're going to talk about that.
A little cutting, editing. Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, we got a little verse, but I want to make sure that I give a huge congratulations to Mimi because she won the tickets to see Joe, Fantasia, and Maxwell.
Nice.
So, Mimi, if you're watching, I'm going to definitely tag you in this broadcast. You are the winner. If you let me send me your information, DM that to me. I think I sent her a message. I'm going to make sure you get those tickets, and I'll be hanging out. And I got to ask you, LJ, out of those three heavy hitters, Joe,
Mhm.
Fantasia, Maxwell, who are you rocking with?
Man, that's a tough one because Maxwell is that guy, you
Yeah.
know. But I remember Joe vividly too. I mean, it's tough, but if I had to go with one, Maxwell, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Maxwell. I think he's more versatile and I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel that. I said Joe just because Joe has that signature R&B sound.
That's
To me,
true. Yeah.
it doesn't get any more just smooth.
Mhm.
I mean, you put on some Joe if you and the mood is set. It's a sexy,
That's true.
grown,
That's true.
but all of them because I love Fantasia too.
Yeah, Fantasia is nice too. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would go with Maxwell for sure. Yeah.
Okay, but tonight we were talking about LJ is in the
hmm
building with us tonight.
hmm
And it turns out that we actually we have some friends in common. We have some friends in common. I have some friends that grew up in St. Thomas, and
Yeah.
you also grew up in St. Thomas. So I'm feeling the vibes tonight, LJ.
Yeah. I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling it too. Feeling island vibes.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Now, LJ, we on Friday we did a recap. I did a recap on Friday, and I'm just going to jump right in because the
Yeah.
viewers want
Talk
to
to me.
know.
hmm
Well, but you know what, before I do that, I want to say well wishes and congratulations to Tommy. I forgot about this. We know that
Yeah.
Tommy was dealing with cancer, and he is actually cancer free. God is good. So
It's
we want to
good.
send our heartfelt prayers and just love to him because he is an amazing guy. We've had the opportunity to work with him for years and actually met him years ago. Just a great guy.
Yeah, man.
So it's horrible to hear that he was dealing with that, but beautiful to hear that he's doing well. So I wanted to make sure we said that before we get into the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Speedy recovery to you, Tommy, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, Tommy checks you. Well, he checked the absence of LJ. And, we did not see you on Friday
I
at
know.
the vacation, LJ.
I know. I
Well,
know, man. I wanted to be there. Trust me, I wanted to be there. Obviously, getting to know everybody, and I think that was a setting where you could get even closer to someone because you're living in a house with someone. That's
yes,
when you really get to know people, right?
yes.
But unfortunately, I had to, go away for work. So I had a conference in DC actually, where I was in charge of that. So I had a lot of responsibilities.
Okay.
I tried to see if there was anyone else that could fill in and all this stuff, but I couldn't, get anyone else, so I had to go. At the
Okay.
end of the day, as you know, I mean, you got to be able to put, food on the table. For me, coming from the islands, again, I'm the only one that's here in Florida. All my family's back home. I got a little baby girl. I got to make sure she's good at all times. So,
Yeah.
whatever sacrifices I got to do, I'm
Yeah.
always do that. So yeah, I'm the breadwinner in between me and my daughter. So I got to make sure she's good at the end of the day. So that's pretty much what happened. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we definitely can respect that, and we definitely want to make sure everybody has to make sure that you're providing, especially when you got little ones to take care of. But even
exactly.
for yourself, I do want to ask you, like, did you know, did you have the opportunity to have any flexibility? Did you know that you were going to be having to do that during taping?
Yeah, so the schedules come out, like weeks before and stuff like that. In this particular situation, I had this engagement prior to knowing that the getaway was gonna be that date. So
Gotcha.
once I found that out, like maybe like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before, I told them, and I tried to see what I could do. I tried everything that I could do to try to change stuff around,
Yeah,
but nothing. I wasn't able to get that done. So the meeting and all that stuff, the conference was set before I even knew about
gotcha.
like the getaway. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
we well, like I said, we definitely can understand that. And I know it was. I mean, definitely, that's one of those times on the show that everybody looks forward to because all types of stuff happens. We
No,
saw a lot of stuff happening on
I
Friday.
know, I know, I know,
But
I
let me
know.
ask you this, because I'm kind of starting ahead of time. Usually we start at the beginning, but
Yeah, yeah,
just because that was such a big we were thrown off because people have been rooting for you, LJ,
yeah,
because you do seem like a very nice guy and one that's kind of kept, kind of you've been somebody to kind of take the fire out sometime when there's a
yeah,
fire brewing. You see, you
yeah,
come
yeah, yeah.
along and talk to Sharice, and
Mhm,
you come along and even try to help some of the guys calm down. So
mhm.
I think people really wanted to see you. But let me ask you about Tranika, because we
Yeah,
did see Tranika called you
yeah.
and she had something to show you. So did you have a chance to tell her that you still were excited? I mean, where were you and Tranika at
Yeah,
prior to the
yes,
vacation that you
yeah,
missed?
definitely. So prior to that, and if you watch the show, you'll see. And I know sometimes they didn't show her and I a lot in our connection and all that stuff, but she was the one that was the top for me, I guess, throughout most of the show. I mean, in the beginning, obviously, it was Shakira and all that stuff, but for the most of the show, it was her. So I think prior to that, our relationship was building up good. I was getting to know her on a deeper level and all that stuff. So talking to her, letting her know that I wasn't going to be able to come. Obviously, she was sad, trying to see if there's anything that I could do to switch stuff around, and same on my end. So it was hard because again, this is a place where you could get to really know someone, get to
Yeah,
grow closer to them and all that stuff. So prior to then, we were already going on a good pace, I would say. But it sucks. It
yeah,
sucked that I didn't, get to go to that. But
yeah,
I explained to her the situation, all that stuff, and I think what's important and what really made me appreciate her more is that she understood, right? Like
yeah,
any woman that I'm gonna be with, me personally, they gotta understand, like, I'm a provider by nature. Like that's just how I am. That's how I was raised. I'm an island. Well, we go out there, we work, we provide and that type of stuff.
yeah,
So, anyone that I'm gonna be with, they gotta understand that. Obviously, there's sacrifices to be made to be with someone and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if I can't provide for you, if I can't bring food on the table, like what's gonna happen? Some other man gonna come in there for you, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so she understood that, which was good, refreshing to hear. But yeah, it definitely sucked that I wasn't able to go. Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning because I said when we first, met all of you guys at that pool party,
Mhm.
and I know I'm familiar. Like I said, I have friends that are from the island. I've been over there. I don't think you have any issue with meeting women and attracting women and all of that. So what was it about this opportunity? Because we know that you are an artist,
Yeah.
but did you come on the show because you wanted to push your music, or are you really, were you really open for love?
Yeah, yeah. So Yeah, definitely. I would say, I mean, I think I'm a good looking guy, nice smile, all that stuff, right? I don't have issues meeting women or talking to women and all that stuff. But, you've been to Miami a few times. You know what it is down here, right? Everyone looks good. Everyone is, sexy and all that stuff. But not everyone has this up here. Not everyone has good intentions for you. And not everyone you could build an empire with, right? I'm the type of person, I'm very ambitious, whether it's music, whether it's work, whatever it is. I'm always going to go the extra mile. I'm always going to try to be the best in whatever. And to find a woman that has a similar mindset is definitely harder here in Miami because everything is so fast paced. There's so many options. It's like, it's hard. So one of the reasons for me going on the show is when that opportunity came to me. At first, I was hesitant and all that stuff. I've never been, on a reality TV show or anything like that. But I figured like, well, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I could find somebody and build a feature with type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I went, because I figured during the vetting process, if we're all put in place for a similar goal or whatever, like I feel like it could only be good. Obviously, you saw drama here and there and all that stuff, but that's kind of the reason why I took the opportunity. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
know
you,
people talk about the music stuff. I do music, yeah, definitely, but I do gigs here, I do gigs there, and I think the way music comes out is, organically, right? You put your
yeah,
heart and soul into something, and if it's organic, some people are gonna resonate with it, some people not. But I don't think a reality, well, love show would necessarily, take my music somewhere that other if it was like a music show or something like that,
right.
then the opportunity for that would have been greater. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason why. Mhm.
No, that makes sense. And thank you for being, level-headed enough to know that.
Yeah.
Because I do think some people come on the show and they thinking that it's gonna like give them an opportunity to do something different. And it's like it's a dating show. So if you wanna if you're a dating it, I don't know. Like it definitely, it's not gonna flip, but exposure never hurts. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well, right? Exposure is exposure at the end of the day. But yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now, LJ, I wanted to take it slow, but the
The
listeners,
fans,
they
I
not
could imagine. I could imagine. Okay, talk to me. Let me take another
ready
thing.
to jump in because we talk about the fact that you came on the show and you said that you don't really meet women that are basically what you're looking for. However,
Yeah.
we did see your ex
Uh huh.
at the at one. I think it was the episode before where Tranika
Yeah.
did confront you. So
Mhm.
LJ, what's going on with the ex? All you threw. I was rooting for you until the
I
ex.
know
I
people
was
keep.
like
I
LJ.
saw people going in on me, like tearing me up after that one. All right. It was
Come
hard.
on, you gotta explain yourself,
People
LJ.
love you, then hate you. All right. So
Need
here's the thing.
help.
So this is me. I know. I guess Tommy kind of alluded, like, oh, I'm the island guy. I'm friendly. I'm nice. All these different things. I'm all about positive vibes and stuff, right? So for me, in relationships, most of them, obviously there's some relationships that end on a bad note, and then you're not messing with that person, not talking to that person.
Right.
But most of my relationships end on good notes, right? So whether we couldn't agree to certain things, whether we wanted different things in life and all that stuff, we agree that, well, we're not meant to be together, something like that. But I don't be like, oh, well, I'm blocking you and f you and forget you, that type of stuff. So
Right.
that's the type of relationship we have. Like, we're still friends, right? Still to this day. And I figured that, on top of me being a musician and all this stuff, like, I'm always around people. I'm a friendly person. Like, I got groups of friends we're around. Maybe you might be in a group with girls that maybe I've had some type of history before. Not necessarily, not necessarily my girlfriend, but something. It's Miami, whatever. We young, whatever. So I figured I'm gonna be as transparent as possible or true to myself, because if I'm out with somebody, right? If I have a girlfriend and we're out and I see an old friend or whatever, I'm still cool with them, not like messing around with them or anything like that. And they
Mhm.
say hi and all this stuff. Like, some women could be like, well, who's that? Well, what you doing? And all this stuff. So I try to be as upfront as possible from the get go, so that way you understand, like, this is who I am. Doesn't mean that I'm messing around with somebody else and all that stuff. Now, granted, I understand that in this situation, it was a month before the thing. I get it.
Was it a
But
whole month? Because Tranika
yeah,
said
it wasn't.
last
It was
month
a
you
whole
did.
month. It wasn't that 2 days thing. Edits and all this. It wasn't that. It was. it was like I would say probably longer, a month ago. Yeah, I think it wasn't just like recently. Um, but obviously, edits and all this stuff. But my answer to that is, if we're dating, right, just normal outside of the show, regular life,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone who keeps coming after me with all this stuff, you're dating multiple people at one time. You have friends that all these different things. So it's not like you're completely cut off to the world unless you say, okay, we want to make this exclusive and all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be my answer to that situation. I mean, me and her, we're still friends to this day. And what I said on the show is I came there to look for something real.
Right.
And if I find it, then that's where my focus is gonna be. So yeah, that's pretty much my answer to that.
Well, I do have to probe a little bit more, LJ, because she said she still had feelings for
I
you.
know, I know. So
Wait,
I
wait,
did.
wait. And then you said that you never say never. So I think what we want to know is like, number one, why would you ask her to come if you knew that she still kind of wanted to be in that spot? Because I
Well,
feel like she was
mhm,
kind of on the show, just not on the show. And you're
mhm.
right, Marriott, I could not keep the poker face. I was still because LJ's talking. I'm like, what are we talking about, LJ? No.
No, so I'll say this: I didn't know she was gonna say that. To me,
Okay.
I didn't know she was gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm still in love with you," and
Did
all.
you know she was though?
I didn't know that she was still like, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would have to ask, but I feel like you could have love for somebody, but being in love with somebody is a different thing. But I didn't know that part. I
Okay.
didn't know that part. So yeah, when she said that, you could see. I don't know if I took a sip or something or whatever the
You
case was.
did.
And then as it relates to the never say never piece, like I said, we're cool still. I don't know what could happen in the future. That's how I truly feel. So it's
Yeah.
not like I was trying to be facetious or trying to lead somebody on or anything like that on either sides. I was just truly saying, like, I don't know what could happen. Like, me and her, we didn't end on a bad term to where it's like forget about you, like all that type of stuff. Obviously, I'm here on the dating show to find something. But yeah, that was my answer, and is that's how I felt at the time.
It didn't seem like it was ended at all. It seemed like it was like kind of open. But I'm just wondering, like, would she did would when you asked, you obviously asked her, first of all, did Tommy tell all the guys to get ex-girlfriends? Because why did all you guys bring your
Well, that's what I thought the assignment was. That's what I thought the assignment was. You bring an ex, you tell it, so the women could get an understanding of how you are in a relationship, or the flaws and the good parts, the pros, the cons. That's what I thought. But then, going into the men's lounge, I heard people bringing like a guy friend and all this stuff. I'm
Swayze
like,
understood the assignment.
I
Swayze was like,
was like,
hell
I was like, damn.
no.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's what I understood. So maybe I guess I gotta pay closer attention to details.
Bless your heart. Bless her heart.
Uh,
What is the relationship like with her now? Are you guys still?
yeah, we're still cool. We're still friends. Nothing changed. I know people were, obviously Twitter was going crazy with the stuff, but she didn't have any ill will towards me, at least after when I spoke to her. But yeah, we're still friends. We're still cool. Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, LJ, I'm gonna move on, but I'm just saying when the camera looked in that young, beautiful young lady's eyes, she's still
She's
not
still in
at
love.
love for you, in love with you. She's still there. So bless her. I mean, blessings to that. Hopefully, I don't know, but that definitely was not the look of
It's
someone that
not a
was
finish. Yeah, I get you.
desperate.
I was reading all the comments. I'm reading all of them, trying to decipher them.
No. All right, let's move. Let's go back to the beginning.
Mhm.
Now we can finally go back.
Okay, now, is this the easy part now? The pressure's off.
We still got more to
A
talk. We
little
still got
turbulence here and there. Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
we're gonna take it down for a little bit, then we'll amp back up.
All right, okay.
So when you came to the mixer, right?
Mhm.
Because we talked to Looney last Monday.
Okay.
Great conversation with Looney. And I'm gonna say, like, I remember at the mixer, I thought, first of all, Miami has been refreshing. It's
Yeah.
very refreshing, very different than some of the other cities. But I'm wondering, like, who were you instantly connected with? Who were you instantly attracted to? Because
Yeah.
one of the only things I remembered is that when Looney was there and then she had COVID,
Mm-hmm.
you actually were like one of the only people still reaching out to her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So who did you see that you really were physically attracted to? Let's start with physical attraction first.
Physical. Yeah. So when I first got in, I saw Shakira. Well, Shakira, she was like in this yellow dress. Like
Okay.
for
Okay,
me, that
Caribbean
was
gal, she got it. Caribbean
that
gal,
was
flower child. Okay.
yeah. So that's where my eyes were at initially. Like
Okay.
physically, you know, Shakira. I spoke to Tranika, and we even in the first conversation, like we spoke about like deep stuff. Like I don't know how to explain. I'm a I would say a spiritual person in the sense that energy is big for me. Like you could when you're talking to someone, you feel a vibe, you bounce off of that,
Mhm.
and that's how it is. So with Tranika, obviously she looks good, right? But when we were speaking, like just the energy just felt a little different, like in a good way, right? And we were talking about different things, kind of felt like we met before or something like that.
Okay.
So that was my second one, and then Looney, um, we were talking at the mixer as well. At the time, I thought she was more a little reserved and all that stuff. We were talking at the mixer, and I was feeling Looney too as well. So I would say those are my three interests after the initial mixer that we had. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I want to clear up. This does not mean that LJ is off the show. We are just working with the different cast. So LJ is still on the show. Friday, we did not. Actually, he wasn't even there at the mansion. He had vacation, so we are still good. So everybody's asking, is he gone? But no,
Tune
no.
in, tune in. Come see me next Friday. Come
Come
on.
see, I come see next Friday. No, we just got the scoop, and because of that, because of him missing and the whole X thing, we requested LJ. We had to request LJ because Tranika had us hot with this X thing. So all right, so Shakira, Tranika, and Looney were your major connections.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Shakira because we didn't get a chance to see a lot of her. I actually feel like a lot of the dates we didn't get to see. Did you get a chance to try to connect with
Yeah,
her?
we actually went on dates. We went on a date. I think she was my first date actually, my
Okay.
first one-on-one date. So I was surprised, and I thought it went well. It went well. We both said it went well. So I was surprised that they didn't show that. Because we had a good time. Went to this Italian restaurant, and we were talking, smiling, vibing. Like the vibe was good. We had a good time. So that's how it started off for me. That's how my journey started off, and yeah, we had a connection, but I guess they didn't show that.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
So I think we didn't see much of Shakira besides some of the issues, right?
Hmm.
Some of the issues from her past that were obviously really affecting her. How did you feel when it came up to elimination? Do you think you guys would have been able to continue dating and that would have been a path you would have continued going down if she hadn't been eliminated?
Well, at that point in time, I think Shakira was over me. Remember, she was like, "LJ is just, being a girls or a gallus or whatever, like, bouncing
Yeah.
around and all that stuff." But at the end of the day, we're in a dating show, and I got to get to know everybody. I got to make sure that I'm exploring my options out there. I think some of the things that she had issues with was me not reaching out first and stuff like that and all this stuff. So, somewhere along the lines, I guess she didn't see my effort or whatever. And that kind of steered her away. But I think Shakira is a beautiful, young lady. She has a lot to offer. And she's a good soul. I mean, obviously, we all go through things in life. And, it's not my responsibility or duty to speak on whatever she went through. But
Yeah.
there's different things that we take longer to heal from. Like everybody's different, right? So, although some people may say this, some people may say that, like everybody's different. So you just got to let people go through and their healing process in the way that they, but
Yeah,
that's best for them. But she's a good girl, and she's a great girl, and we're still friends today. So,
good.
definitely, yeah.
Let me ask you this because there there was a scene that she was upset with Katie um and there've been several other scenes where people are upset with Katie, but
Yeah,
Shakira was upset. Do you think that that she was done wrong? Do you think that was did you feel that was an unfortunate situation, or do you think it was kind of taken out of context?
yeah. I think personally, I don't. If I'm so, this is what I would say before I answer. Um, for everybody watching, right, we gotta remember that we're seeing clips of
Yeah,
things, and there's much more that's happening in the background. There's much more that's being said, but you're seeing clips. I personally wasn't there when it was initially brought up. I think Mike, Jamala,
yeah.
Shakira, and Kaden was there. But
Mhm.
from what I saw on the clip, this is just on the clip,
Okay,
I don't know if, I mean, it could have been taken out of context from what I saw in the clip. I don't know the whole details.
okay.
But again, everyone deals with things differently. Like,
Yeah,
what if I say something to you today jokingly, you may just laugh and brush it off. If you say
mhm,
that to someone else, that could be, deeper for them. And
right.
so you got to be respectful of everyone's feelings and how they feel. Maybe some things could be taken out of context, but at the end of the day, I wasn't there, so I don't necessarily know
Let's
what
speak
to say.
to it.
But based on what I saw in the clips, maybe I would say a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, you were there with Alonzo and Sharice.
Oh yeah, I was in the mix. I was in the mix for that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's another one where that's actually one where I feel like you definitely tried to kind of ease the situation
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
and bring some calmness and some good energy to both sides.
Yeah.
Watching that and from what we saw watching that,
Mm.
it was extremely, just a bad situation for
It was.
both sides
Yeah.
with both Sharice and Zoe. And he got very upset. He seemed very we didn't get a chance to interview Zoe because people are asking, why haven't some of the people that were on
Mhm.
some of the cast have said they didn't want to do interviews, and so of course that's their right to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Zoe decided, and Shakira actually did not want to interview.
Oh, really?
So I want to ask you, being there,
Hmm.
from what we saw, it seemed like Zoe was being very, very aggressive when you guys were doing
Yeah, man.
the
Listen,
cards.
I'm a competitive person. I like to win. Everyone, I think most guys would like to win, right? But from the time we got there, like he was on 10, like we're
Yeah,
gonna beat you and this, and then smacking some of the helmets with the ladies and all that stuff. Like it's one thing to be competitive amongst guys and all that stuff. Like we could take that stuff, but when it comes to ladies, you gotta be gentle, right? You could have a little competitive kind of banter, whatever, and all that, but you can't go too hard like that, man. So I felt in that situation, me being there and experiencing that, I felt like he was going too hard at the ladies. I mean, if it was just the guys and cool, whatever, but felt like he was going too hard at the ladies, and then it's escalated in the back room with Charisse, and because I already felt like he was going hard, I know the energy's built up and all that stuff. So that's when I went in the back and tried to de-escalate some of that stuff and try to talk to him. But yeah, I just feel as men, obviously we have powerful voices. We're bigger, like we could be intimidating. So
mhm,
being cognizant of that, especially when speaking to women, is important. So I just definitely had to step in and try to see what I could do to help on both sides, right? One, calm him down, because at the end of the day, I don't have any ill will towards him or anything. Calm
yeah,
him down, and then for Sharice, just kind of be there to comfort her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like because we saw a date with you and Sharice that did not seem to go very
Well, I saw that. You know what? And I spoke to her after that. It did. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. We had a good time. We had a good time. We went salsa dancing and all that stuff. No, she does have two left feet. I mean, she will tell you. She will tell you
yeah.
that. Me, I like dancing. I'm an island boy. It's all in the hips, the waist. We got rhythm, but we had a good time, to be honest. So when they showed that kind of some of the edits with like maybe like awkward silence or whatever, I was kind of taken aback because I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
But Yeah, no, but we had a good time. I spoke to her after that too, and she's like, yeah, I don't know why they showed it like that. And we went on more dates throughout the season as well. So I know
So
that
did you have an interest in Sharice?
I mean, we were cool. I know her connection was with I want to
Sam?
say Samson, right?
Mhm.
And between that and all the drama and all the different things that were going on, we were cool. Again, I'm everybody on the show. I'm cool with, like,
Yeah.
guys and girls, and women. But yeah, we had good times, I would say, in terms of, like, like seeing a future and all stuff. I mean, one of the things too, I guess, that was challenging is, I know there's a big age difference with some of the ladies, right? I mean, for me, it's not about age or anything like that. For me, I'm all about energy, how we bounce off each other. But for different people, it could be different, right?
Hmm.
Women typically like an older man, right? They feel, I don't know if they feel more secure or whatever it is, but I'm young, but I come with a lot. I'm established in all these different things. So I'm confident in myself.
Hmm.
So my energy is gonna be a little different, but it's just different for different people. But we definitely vibe, I would say.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, 33. Okay, so you are young.
Mhm.
What do you tend to date? You said women usually like older men. What do
Yeah.
you tend to date?
So all my serious relationships, I would say I've been the older,
Really?
been older than the women. But again, I mean, I've I've been I've dated older women, right? But I've never necessarily been in like a full long-term committed, like, serious relationship with an older woman. But I've definitely dated older women for
Would
sure.
you think, because I guess it's a difference between dating for right
It
now
is.
and
Mhm.
like really being serious about looking
Exactly.
for
It
the
is. I would I would be serious with an older woman. I mean, again, for me, it's not necessarily about age. It's about, where our mindsets are, what we're trying to accomplish in life. I want more out of life. I don't want to just live a regular life. Like, I need somebody that's ambitious and, driven, and have things going on for themselves.
Yeah.
And you tend to find that with older women, older than 33.
Mhm.
So that's definitely not an issue for me at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alexa says that you come off older than 33. I would think that too, not because of how you look, but just how you carried yourself on the show.
Yeah.
It seemed really mature, just
Yeah.
and then also being settled. So all
And,
right, let's go back to your connections because I feel. Let me ask you this: I feel as though LJ, you can have a good time with anybody that you go out with, right?
yes,
So
this is true.
I
These are
feel
facts.
like any girl you go out with, it could, like with Sharice, I didn't feel like you guys had a connection,
Mm.
but I feel like you have the type of personality that kind of could gel with most people, right?
Yeah, facts. Yeah. That's fact.
So,
So
okay.
who was my real connection is what you're trying to know?
Yes, yes, I knew you were
My
gonna say
real connection. I would say honestly, my real connection would be Tranika. Like, I feel like, again, from a energy and spiritual perspective, just the conversations that we have, and the way it is between us, like, that would be a true connection, I would say,
that.
out of everyone else that's there.
Okay. Were
Mhm.
you concerned because some of the guys, well, some of the people we see, Mike had an issue with people having other connections. We see Jamala had an issue with people having. Did you? And Tranika actually had a connection also with Randall,
With-
right?
and justice
And
and
Justice, right? But Justice left. But
yeah.
did you have an issue with the fact that your connection really had some strong connections with other people?
Nah, for me, I'm confident in who I am. I'm a confident guy. I feel like, if someone has different connections with other people and they choose me,
Mhm.
that only makes it more rewarding for me. It feels like, all right, you had these options and this is where you chose to be, right? So for me, that is, I guess, is a competitive thing in terms of winning, but also knowing that this person really wants you because they had the opportunity to be, go somewhere else. So for
Right.
me, I didn't have an issue, and I don't have an issue with, if I'm dating someone, or trying to get to know someone, they're talking to other folks. Like, at the end of the day, if you decide, okay, I'm the one that you want to be more seriously pursue something with, then I'm fine with that. At that point in time, then cool, yeah, you're locked in. But other than that, like, I don't I'm not a jealous person, I wouldn't say. I mean, we're human. Obviously, there's still things that may affect you at certain times. I'm not saying like, oh, I don't ever get jealous. I don't, whatever. But just in general, like, I think I'm confident in myself. And if you choose me, then, you're in for a good time. So I was going to be the right choice.
I like that. I like it, LJ. Let me ask you because I like Tranika a lot, but we haven't really gotten to see a lot. Like we've gotten to see some of the drama, but we haven't really gotten a chance to see the real connection. So can
I
you
know.
tell us what it was about you guys' connection that you like, besides the fact that she's absolutely drop dead gorgeous and
Hmm.
she has everything that she would need
Yeah.
to attract any guy.
Yeah.
But what was it about you guys' connection? You mentioned her spirituality, but
Hmm.
you didn't really get a chance to see
I
that
know. I know, yeah, and there was a lot of that too. I think even not with just me, but other folks, and I know they didn't really show that a lot. I know that's some when we talk, she always mentions that they didn't really show a lot of that depth to her, and I think it's an injustice to the viewers. But I think she's a caring person, right? What I look for in a woman is a few things. I look for a woman that's driven. I
Yeah,
look for a woman that is confident in herself, right? Is at a certain level where she could be confident in herself and she loves herself. I like a woman that, again, she's caring to her partner, ambitious. And I think with her, she has those things going on, right? She has a good job. She's very caring, she's loving. I would say she's kind of like a central person too as well. I guess that comes with like the energy and stuff. But she's understanding, right? And in her past experience, she has experience with folks with like kids and stuff like that, right? Like for me, I have a kid, and anybody that I'm going to introduce to my daughter has to be at a certain level, and I don't just introduce anybody to my daughter. And I so when I'm dating or when I'm looking to find a partner, these are things that I consider as well. It's not just me. I got my little girl, you know what I'm saying? And I got to make sure that that's going to be a good example, and she's going to care for her like she care for me, although that's not your child. And that's not for everybody, right? That's not for everybody. So these are things that I consider. And with Trinika, I felt like she had those qualities to her.
nice,
Mhm.
nice. So I definitely I liked her. One of the things that I noticed about Tranika is it seems that she really knew how to speak to people. Like how, she was encouraging, and there was like a nurturing energy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she was always, even with some of her other connections,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
always is going to start out by kind of reaffirming the person. And I think
Hmm.
that it has to be very attractive to guys because she seems like she knows how to speak to a man in a
Yeah.
way that makes him feel like,
Hmm.
in a good way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I think we were surprised. You were in the bottom quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe two or three times.
But you carried yourself, with grace and
Mhm.
with class. Tranika, when she was in the bottom, we saw this because we were not expecting that response from Tranika
I
because she
know, I know. When I saw that, I was shocked. I mean, she did tell me about it, like on the phone, but I couldn't visualize her like going off like that.
you
So when
know
she told me about it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, cool. Like not thinking too much of it. But then when I saw, I was like, damn, she really went in.
she
But
went in.
I guess the way she explained it to me was it wasn't necessarily that she was in a bottom. And again, some of the things they don't show, right?
Yeah,
I think if I could recall a conversation correctly, she was mentioning like, you know, the reason why she was in a bottom. Maybe people saying like she's not going deep enough or she's not being this. When we all know like this is who she is, just natural. She goes deep. She gets into deep conversations, and it's more than just surface level. So I think she was more so upset with somebody sitting across from her telling her about her character when that's not what her character is for her to be in the bottom. So I think that's what it was. But I mean, when you talk to her, you can get more information.
it was definitely talks to her. I just wondered if you saw a different side because we don't really, like you mentioned earlier, we don't really get to see much of her deepness. We just
Mhm.
kind of get to see her being really sweet to
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah.
So I definitely look forward to, hopefully we'll get a chance to see more of her We would have really liked to see you guys together for the vacation. I think that's what everybody was like. I feel like I feel like you guys' connection on that trip would have been a safe place for her, even though she carried herself well, even though
Yeah.
there was, was a little competition with some of the other people. Um,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, because the show, we were talking, we do a recap every Monday on
Hmm.
OWN. And I feel like there's a difference between people that come on the show to win and people that come on the show really looking for love.
Mm.
So where do you kind of weigh in there? I also think it's kind of, I don't know if men really come to the show thinking I'm really hoping to get love, or it's kind of like, we'll see what happens.
I mean, I think I could see what you're saying in that situation. I feel like you don't know what to expect, right?
Yeah.
I guess this is the train of thought that men go through, or maybe myself, whatever. Opportunity comes about. I was hesitant. I didn't really know much. Go to do it. Let's see how it goes. Let's see. Maybe I could find somebody that I could truly connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Get there, you meet people. Okay, you look good, you look nice. Like, all right, we're having good conversations, and then things just start to grow. Things just start to escalate and all that stuff. And then you're thinking, wow, well, yeah, well, maybe this could really be a thing for real. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how it goes, at least for the guys. Like, at least with conversations that I have with some of the guys, like, it goes that way. And the more you get to know someone, the more time you spend with them and see what they're really about, you could either kind of start to back out or gravitate towards them based on what they're giving you. So I think for me, that was the steps that I went through. First, I was like, okay, let me try this and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these people are cool. Then as I get to know people more, it's like, all right, I could really see something, happening. So that's what I would say for that, for sure.
Okay. Let me
Mhm.
ask you this, because you mentioned the conversations with the guys. One of the things, and I know you've probably seen these comments on Twitter, is people have said that they don't really feel like it wasn't necessarily matched. Like some of the women that were there, some of the guys weren't really into, like outside of this show, probably would
Mhm.
not have connected. And
Mhm.
and even I talked about that with April.
Mhm.
She was, older but absolutely beautiful, but she just felt like there wasn't really anybody there that was a fit for her. She
Yeah.
also felt like a lot of the guys weren't really attracted to some of the women that were there. Do you
Mhm.
feel like it was the energy was like reciprocated on both sides?
I mean, I feel like I could understand what April was saying or some of those comments. I feel like too, like, and I know this is the show, and I know I think the age difference gets to a lot of people's heads sometimes. Maybe on the female side, maybe on the men's side, and they look at that, and it affects the way that they choose to open up or connect with different folks. So I could see some of that being the case. But if I had to look at everyone, I really feel like there could have been there's some good connections there, I would say. I mean, obviously you got to keep watching to see, but I feel like there's genuine connections in the show. So
Yeah.
although I could see what people are saying in that situation, I feel like there's still genuine connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the biggest? I think what was the biggest surprise to you? Because you came on, you said you didn't really know what to expect.
Mhm.
What was the biggest curveball during the process? Because I think a lot of people come on, and at least from what from from going on to the show and then watching the show, there seems to be a pretty big disconnect. So,
Yeah.
what is for you? What was the biggest surprise or curveball in the process from going on? Even the fact that they actually put you guys through a lot to get to the show,
Mhm.
get there, and then it's like people. I mean, we lost Calvin super early. Looney
What-
had COVID. There was a lot going on.
Those were
So,
some curveballs, yeah.
yeah,
So from the first day, I didn't know they were sending people home like day one. Like Sean just got kicked out day one. I'm like,
yes,
yeah,
he did. Yes, he
all right,
did.
it's real, real. So that was the first curveball. Second curveball, I would say during the filming process is, I felt like there were a lot of like group dates. I feel
Yeah,
like I would have want more one-on-ones with different connections. But I guess there's a method behind the madness and all this stuff, right? And then at times there were times when people went on dates that they necessarily wasn't connecting with someone, right? So if as you're going through this process, you start to obviously gravitate towards certain people, and I would have expected that they would take that into consideration and try to harp more on those types of connections, but it was mixed up and all this stuff, right?
Mhm.
So that's during the process. And you know what? Some of the drama that went on, like for me, I'm just an island boy. I'm not accustomed to this. And I'm sitting across the table, and I felt like I was watching myself, like I was watching like on TV, like this stuff happening was so surreal. Um, but yeah, those types of situations I didn't expect. All right. So those were kind of like curveballs for me. And then in terms of watching the show back, um, the way that they were editing stuff, man, because you have one way in your head, the way that you remember it going, but
Yeah.
then with edits and all this stuff that everyone is seeing, it's like you're going through the whole process again, brand new, because there's so many different ways it's chopped and screwed. So I would say, yeah, those are my curveballs
Yeah.
after filming and watching the show.
Let me ask you this because when the drama happens, right? A lot of times the drama this season, the drama has pretty much been some of the ladies and guys, but it really wasn't. The guys weren't going at it with each
Yeah.
other.
Mhm.
For you as a man, if you see a woman there's a lot of drama going on around her, does that affect you? And I'm just asking because a lot of people are saying like Samson seems to be like this awesome, very even keel. Actually, you and Samson come across very alike, like very
Yeah,
easy to get along
Sam's
with.
a good guy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it seems like some of the drama has been around Sharice from the beginning. Do you think a man should pay attention to how a woman treats other people when he's dating her, or should it just be focused on, well, this is how she treats me?
You got to look at the whole picture. I feel you got to look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
Now, you take things with a grain of salt in certain situations, especially if it's like he said, she said. If you weren't there in the situation, all this stuff, get the story from the source. But at the same time, you got to look at everything. You got to look at everything, take everything into consideration. Don't let one or two situations kind of drive your decision on whether to continue with that person or not. But just you have to evaluate everything, I would say, in my personal experience,
Mhm.
and see if this is something that's going to be going on all the time, understand what's the reasoning behind of it. People change, people are just put in different situations. This whole process was different for everybody. Like, it's a
Mhm.
pressure cooker, it's different for everybody, right? So even in the process, maybe some people may have been reacting in ways that they wouldn't have react outside. So I don't know, maybe, but I'm just saying, I like to give the benefit of doubt, understand the person, understand what's the drivers for you acting certain ways, but not necessarily cut you off because of one or two situations. So,
Right. No,
but it
that
definitely does affect you.
yeah, that makes sense. Is there anybody, because it sounds like there was a lot that we didn't see?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody that you wish you had more time, or you thought like, do you have any regrets? Like, I wish I had maybe, given this person a little bit more energy when you look back over the whole experience now that you're watching it. Is there anybody that you would have wanted to give a little bit more energy to?
I wouldn't necessarily say no. I don't have any regrets. If I were to have one, it's not necessarily a regret, but again, I would, being on the trip, obviously, you get to connect more. But outside of that, I feel like everything happens for a reason. That's how I operate, and what was supposed to happen happened. I think the connections that I had were real connections. And I feel like, yeah, I don't have any regrets in terms of I wish I was talking more to this person or that person, anything like that. I'm good with how it turned out. Yeah.
I somehow already knew that was going to be the answer. I'm telling you, cool island guys, just like, you're just living like Bob Marley. Like, however it comes is how it goes.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
all right, LJ, I'm gonna put you on the hot seat again.
All right, back to the hot seat.
All
Do
right,
I need to get another drink?
I want to ask your opinion about some couples,
Okay.
and I just want you to give me the first word that comes to mind. Okay,
Okay.
first word. You don't have to think about it much.
All right.
First word that comes to mind: Brandy and Mike.
So the word I want to say a mix. I don't know, sensational or ex. Nah, it's like I don't know. I feel like chemistry. I would say chemistry.
Okay. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, chemistry.
Mike and Kayla.
That is more physical, maybe I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, physical would be good. Yeah, we would take.
Okay. All right. Another one. Randall and Jamala.
Um, that is explosive. Explosive, but that could be good. Listen, I
Right. No,
mean,
that could be good. That
yeah,
could
like
be
you wanna have some, like
really good or really bad.
it could go either way. Yeah, that's true. It could go either way.
Way. Okay. All right. So what about Samson and Sharice?
Hmm. I would say mellow. I mean, Sanson is coming in talking like, yeah, so whatever, like that type of stuff. I mean, that's a good thing for Shiri's because it's like opposites, right?
Yeah.
So he could calm her down, he could, do all that stuff. But I would say mellow. I would say mellow. Because if you notice when Sharice was with Samson, like it wasn't any kind of like, type of stuff you've seen with her and some other
Right.
females and stuff like that. So
He does seem to mellow her out.
Mhm.
However, you don't have to answer this because I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We also saw that Sharice specifically numerous times said that she wasn't really attracted to Samson initially.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you think that it's okay when because I also think that women can become attracted to men over time. I
Yeah.
don't believe that men can become attracted to women over time. I think men have to be attracted from the jump,
Yeah.
but women are more like,
Yeah,
oh,
give it time. Because I would say that's true. I would agree with that because women are more emotional. Like they operate from more of a emotional level. So if you're getting towards a woman's emotions and you're making her feel comfortable, calm, all these different things, like even if she may not have been initially attracted to you, then you know she'll become attracted to the way that you make her feel.
exactly.
Men, we're more physical, like we're more like hands-on, from the get-go. So, that is how we are. But I would say too, though, like the way a woman makes a man feel could intense the way he feels towards the woman.
Okay.
Right? But obviously, physical, I would say would be yeah. I would agree with your statement.
Could let me just ask you outright, if you were not physically attracted to a woman, but she made you feel amazing, are you at a place in your life at 33
No.
that you can make that work?
No. Nah, it's a no for me. I guess at that point in time, I'm not ready to love. But I mean, listen, yeah, nah, she gotta make me feel something physically.
Yeah.
And everyone's taste is different, right? So it's not like you could see the most beautiful woman and that could be attracted to one guy, but another guy could find something like, nah, she doesn't do it for me. So it's not. It's just how she makes you feel, and I guess what's appealing to you. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have to feel that physical attraction for me to, pursue something seriously.
I
Yeah.
agree. And I don't even think that's necessarily an age thing. I think that's just a man and woman. That's a man thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more couple, LJ, and then I'm gonna ask you about you. What about Swayze and Kadian?
Swayze, that's my guy, man. I would say seesaw, right? A seesaw, seesaw. As you saw based on what I'm seeing in
Yeah.
the playbacks. Obviously, there's one time they good, one time they bad, one time. But now I feel like those two, like they're good together. I mean, from what I've seen, they love each other and all that stuff. But I would say seesaw if I had to say.
Yeah.
Main thing, yeah.
Okay. So what about you and Tranika? And I want to point out, LJ,
Mhm.
that on the dates I picked up on there were at least 2 dates where she was having a drink and then you suggested you would take her home with a little bit of a mischievous laugh. I'm like, LJ is definitely trying to get Tanika to the house.
I would say sensational.
Okay.
Sensational. That would be my description. Yeah.
You saved that word. You saved that one for you.
Yeah. Sensational. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Yep.
You can't give us any spoilers, but I
Can you
do
do that?
I do want to say
Mhm.
I want to ask about more about you and Tranika, but I know you can't. You cannot. What can you give us? Any little hints about that connection? You got anything for us?
I can't say no. You still gotta watch the show. You
We
still
gotta
gotta
watch
watch.
the
There's a
show.
whole bunch more left. Yeah,
Yeah, obviously, because honestly, it could go.
it could go either way at this point in time. Like you
Yeah,
never know what's gonna happen. But um, yeah, that's all I can say. That's all I can say.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you learn throughout this process? Because even though, we're still watching, you've gone through it, and
Yeah.
you've also had a chance to kind of reflect on everything. Did you learn anything about yourself, about how you will approach, dating and relationships moving forward?
Yeah, I would say, one of the things for me personally is to not count anyone out, like from just an initial conversation or initial way that you feel towards somebody.
Hmm.
That goes back again, I guess, to difference between men and women. But again, the more you could get caught up in judging a book by its cover. Everyone could get caught up in that.
Yeah.
But this in this situation, you're forced to be in it, right? Immerse yourself in it, get to know people and all that stuff. And Tommy's like, you gotta open, you gotta stop thinking with this head and think with like that type of stuff. So I
Hmm.
would say what I've learned is to not count people out, even after initial conversations. Give everyone time to get to know them, because there's so many different um, sides to someone. There's so many different facets to somebody when you first met them. I feel like most people you meet, they're either putting up some type of protective guard and just presenting something that maybe they think you would want to see, or maybe they think that would be comfortable for the world to see. But as you get to know and peel back the layers of someone, you really get to understand who they are truly, right? And that could be a beautiful thing for you. And that could be the person that you could end up with. So I would say that's what I've learned during the process, is just to immerse myself more, and not just count people out, and just get to know people on a deeper level.
I like that. I like that. Just to be open. I do have to, I see my chats going off. Yes, we have our winner. I announced earlier our winner for the Jacksonville concert with Joe, Fantasia, and Maxwell is Mimi. Woo! I don't have sound effects, but Mimi, you won two
Yeah,
tickets.
me, I'm trying to be a plus one.
So Mimi, please make sure that you send me your information so I can take care of that. You can send me an email to, I'll put my email in the chat. It's crystal@enchantedpr.net. You can send me your the names, your government names, because all I have is you guys YouTube handles. So yes, Mimi, nah, bruh. Yes, you won tickets to the concert, two tickets, Fantasia, Maxwell, and Joe. Yeah, LJ, I don't think you're going to be able to make it, but I think Mimi probably already has her plus one.
She probably does.
I got a sneaky suspicion, LJ, that you have ladies' man vibes.
No, je no sais.
I,
No say.
I get a little ladies' man vibes. Well, first of all, we know that you may not be making it to the concert, but you do music yourself.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell people where they can find your music if they do want to, hear a little bit more of what you got to put out.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say go ahead, support the Island Boy. We got on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. But follow me on Instagram, LJ_smooth music. I'm always putting out stuff, and I'm working on some major things right now. So I think keep a lookout for that. I have different shows coming up as well, so you can find out about that if you're interested in the music. I would say my music is all about good vibes, sensual music as well. R&B is like one of my favorite genres, but obviously I got to put that Afro beats type of dance hall vibes into it. So it's a little fusion of that. So yeah, if you're interested, follow me, L_smooth music. And yeah, check it out and support. And if you post something, tag me. I appreciate all the love that you have. And if you bring hate too, tag me. Why not? Fuck it.
I'm gonna
it's,
take it away. And
it's
you
all good.
So they asked, can you give us a quick note? Leah Knows Beauty said, can you give us a quick note? You did give them a quick note
I
on the
did
show.
on the show. There's more to come, by the way, on the
There's
show.
more to come.
Yeah, so keep watching. You get more notes from me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we can go. We can you can go to his page, his Instagram page, and definitely we like to support. LJ, make sure that you send me a link to your music, and I'll share that on the
Appreciate
page as well. Let me
it.
ask you this one last question. We are at the hour mark, but LJ,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what do you see in the future? Do you want to get married? Are you looking to get married in the near future? Are you still just ready? Are you ready to love and date? What do you see like in the next 5 years for you?
Yeah, so well, the show is still going on, so we got to see what happens there.
Yeah.
The next 5 years, I would say, I see myself definitely, being settled down with somebody that is on the same wavelength as me, has some, similar ambitions and all that stuff. I'm trying to build an empire, man. I'm trying to be, something big, and
Yeah.
I need my last name to be carried on and talk about through history, right? In different facets, not just music. I'm talking about business. I'm talking about all these different things, right? I want to give back to the community and all these different things. So I have a big vision and big goals for myself, and somebody that I'm going to be with, I would like them to have similar kind of ambitions, and we come together and we be a power couple, and we make it happen. So yeah, I see myself, with someone like that, and just doing great things out here.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if that person is Tranika or if that's the ex that still has feelings for you, or if it's somebody else. But thank you so much for joining us and for coming on mid-season. We're definitely going to be looking to see what happens, and hopefully we'll have you come back and share more after the reunion, after we see how all this plays out.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're definitely rooting for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, LJ.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. All right. Thanks so much again to LJ for hanging out with us. Mimi, girl, tell Boo that you're going to the concert. You are going to the concert. I'm definitely going to be there as well. So hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other in person. I'm always so thankful for all of you guys that support this channel. And please do not give up. There's more coming. We have more giveaways coming. I have some more products that we're going to be doing giveaways with. But this one was big because, you don't always get a chance to see such amazing artists and be able to give somebody with that. So that felt good. But we got some more coming. Trust me, I got some more stuff coming for you guys. I so appreciate you. I enjoyed the conversation with LJ, but yeah, I think LJ has a little bit more to get out of his system. I do think he and Tranika could be cute. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So you guys stay tuned. If you didn't check out that interview earlier with Regina Wesley from Queen Sugar, please make sure that you check that out. And hopefully we'll definitely have LJ and some of the other, we're trying to get Justice. Justice says that he's going to come after the reunion. So you guys, I'm definitely trying to get him on because I want to have a whole 2-hour conversation with Justice. Y'all hear me? A whole 2 hours. But again, thank y'all for hanging out on this Monday night. I love you guys for watching, and I will see you later.